Hey guys, welcome to TST Garage. Today we have a very special episode for you in which we'll be showing you how to install the new TST Industries Programmable Integrated Tail Light on a 2017 and up Yamaha FZ-09 MT-09. Why is this episode so special? Well, let me take you down memory lane a little bit. Back in 2017, when we developed the fender illuminator for this bike, we had a really big outcry for the integrated tail light from our customer base. We thought hard on whether or not to release one, and then also what we wanted to do about it. If you know our company, you know that we don't just take the OEM capsule and just slap some different circuit in there, maybe change the lens pattern a little bit, and just go and launch. What we like to do is look at the bike, look at the lines that come together, look at the visual cues of the entire design of the motorcycle, and then make decisions that ultimately result in something like this. This is specific to this motorcycle. We've done other styling changes on other different bikes based on how the design cues come together on those bikes. On this particular bike, we paid attention to the headlight. It looks like a set of robot eyes, and the rear venting system here, and these faux vents here. And we wanted to make something really special that complements the look of this bike and really sets it off in the back. I really feel like we accomplished that, and hopefully at the end of this video, when you see this mounted on the bike, you will agree. Now, we have this taillight available in a choice of smoked or clear lens. What you see here is smoked. It comes with all the necessary installation hardware. When you change the OEM signals to LED type signals, like the ones that are inside this capsule, you will have a hyper flash situation where your signaling system starts flashing faster than the OEM rate of 85 cycles per minute. Each one of these taillights includes a set of resistors that you can wire in to slow down your flash rate. Now, if you're not into hacking up your harness and wiring in this cumbersome setup, we do have an upgraded component. It's plug and play, plugs right into the OEM plug left behind by the OEM relay. It's actually adjustable, so you could fine tune it. We do have a separate video on this. It's pretty much meant to fix your hyper flash, but in about a minute, where you just plug it in, you're good to go. Anyway, the choice is yours. We actually do have a video in our tech tip section outlining the key differences between these two, so I highly recommend you watch that. So, I'm pretty much done yapping here. I'm really excited to get this on the bike and show you guys what it looks like, so let's get started. So here on the bike, we see the OEM setup. The tail light has two functions, running light and brake light. Our tail light is all plug and play, and it goes in place with all the same fasteners pretty much as the OEM taillight, but it gives you the ability to have your signals in the capsule, and it also has 9 programmable states. 3 are for the brake, 3 are for the signals. You have standard brake, acts exactly like the OEM setup. Then you have brake alert, where it will strobe a couple times and then turn on solid. And then you have pulsar, which constantly pulses when you are on the brakes. We will show you that a little bit later. The signaling functions are very similar. You have standard, you have from the center out sequential, and then also the pulsar version of that. So let's ditch the seat and start the assembly process. This particular bike actually has our fender illuminator on it already, so you don't see the stock components here in that big fender. If you guys are starting from stock, I suggest that you watch our fender illuminator video first so you know how to disassemble these components here. We'll just pick up, assuming that you guys already have something of this form here. What you see on this bike is our Elite 1 system. It has our aluminum CNC machine closeouts in this place, and it has the low tuck mount for the license plate and an axle block here. So let's now start removing some of these fasteners here, and we'll get to the taillight, remove it, and we'll be good to go. So step 1 will consist of removing the 6 push fasteners here. Press in the centers and withdraw them. And what I'd like to do is reset them as they come out for easier reassembly. Next, we will be removing these 4 fasteners using a 4mm Allen. And now we can free the rear portion of this fairing from the receiving clips on the taillight. We'll need to grasp the fairing, pull it backwards while holding the taillight in place, and that disengages this interference geometry from the clip. We'll do that on both sides. Now we have access in here, so we're going to switch over to an 8mm socket and pull out these 4 fasteners. Now the seat latch bracket comes off and we have access to the wiring. I'll undo the taillight wiring here. We'll undo this protective sheath here. We have access to our signal plugs here. If you still have your OEM signals in place, they will be plugged into these 2. Now we'll need to pull out this plug. There's a locking tab here that we will press down and pull out the plug. Now using a 4mm Allen, we will undo the taillight main screws. This fastening system uses these shoulder washers in here that will not be reused in our taillight, so we'll remove these as well. Now we can hop down to the bottom of the bike and take out the remaining 2 screws that are holding this onto the undertail. I'm going to use a 4mm Allen again for these 2 fasteners down here. Now these are black as well as the top ones that connect the tail light here, but one key difference is that these are self-threading coarse thread and the top ones are M5 machine thread. So you have to remember that for reassembly. Now this tail light will come out nice and easy. And we'll need to strip off these clip fasteners off of it. And again, I want to reiterate that the 2 types of fasteners for top and bottom are different. So when you take out the top ones from these ears, I encourage you to replace them on our new tail light right away so you don't mix them up. It's also necessary to put them in the right orientation. I have a protruding boss that holds the thread. If it's facing the top, it's incorrect. You need to make it face the bottom. So you only have a hole on the top side and the boss on the bottom. Now I'll take these out. It's pretty easy to identify. These are chrome and the other ones are black. So the chrome ones go on the bottom. And again, there is an orientation that you need to preserve. The flat face will go on the bottom of the taillight, and the stamped raised threaded accepting feature will go towards the top, towards the inside of the bike. And now we can get our light back in here. I'm going to thread the wires through this center hole on this taillight bracket, and these bosses will interface with these grommets here. Push that in. Now we can replace those 2 fasteners we just took out from the OEM setup here. They fasten this component to the taillight. And if you're using one of our fender eliminators with the closeout system here, you will notice that at this point you will have a little bit of difficulty getting this undertail setup around these closeouts. So what we'll need to do is grab a 3mm Allen and from the top loosen up the screws that hold this setup in place so we can move it around just a little bit and get our undertail in place. Boom. And then we can tighten down on these. If you've done the installation of the TST Industries Elite 1 fender eliminator, then you already know that this has to happen. All right, now that's back in place. We will have to stretch these pieces of plastic from the side fairings onto these clips here. And this step is very, very important. What you want to do is make sure that you have enough stretch in these to get around these clips. You can look on the inside and verify this. If you don't, highly recommend that you guys loosen up some more fasteners down here to give yourself a little bit more give. Do not use force to get these on. You will likely snap something here and you will have very poor fit. So I've done a number of these, so I know I can stretch it enough. And there it is. I don't need to get all of this in here. Make sure all the clips engage. Repeat on the other side. And everything's lining up and looking really good right now. We'll jump up to the top of the bike and continue. Let's now get the installation hardware in the main bosses of the tail light. We have self-threading screws and washers that will replace the OEM fasteners in this place. And I'm going to use a Phillips screwdriver to complete this. Now as you bottom out, you want to compress it just a little bit. You'll see the rubber grommet compress, and then you feel bottom. You don't want to go beyond that. Okay, now we can route our wires through this guiding clip, get our main plug plugged in. Have the locking feature on top of the plug that has to go in this window. And then we'll plug these guys in. These are the signals. So I just took the arbitrary approach. Let's see if I got the right side. Nope. I'm gonna have to reverse these. And now I have the correct side signal plugged into the correct plug. Now I'll just get this sheath around all the wires here. And get that back in place. Now my seat latch bracket will go back in place. I'm going to put those 8mm head screws back in. Before I tighten down on that, I'm going to make sure that my seat latch has smooth action still. Looking good. Let's tighten these up. Now we can replace the 4 top fasteners that we took out in a really early step. Chrome ones with the shoulder go up here. And black machine screws go in this place. I'll note here that if you guys want to change your OEM relay to our aftermarket LED flasher relay, it's really simple. Slip this off, plug it in place here. We do have a separate video detailing that, but I figured I would throw it in here for simplicity's sake. Let's hop down to the bottom of the bike and complete the last step. In this last remaining step, we will be replacing these push fasteners in the positions they came out of. That's really simple and self-explanatory. Everything looks great. Now I'm going to fire this thing up for you and take you through all the different functions. Programming button is on the back of the lens here under this position right here. It is in a deep well, so I like to use the eraser of a pencil. Let me get it to the most standard. Here we go. Standard brake. Standard signals. They are flashing fast, so I will quickly just replace the OEM signal with R so you guys could get the full gist of what's happening here. So now I will initiate the signal, show you guys the brakes, and then toggle through the different program functions. One press will toggle to the next signaling function. This is our scanning or sequential signal. And this is our pulsar signal. This is all within the realm of standard brake. Next button press will toggle to standard signal and the next version of brake function. This is called strobe alert. It flashes a couple times and then stays solid. So each press of the button now will toggle through the signal functions within the realm of that brake function. Okay, now we're back to the next brake function, and that's your pulsar, and so on. All right, let's get the seat back on this beast and finish up. All right, I had great fun playing with this bike today. I was really excited to show this to you guys. I hope most of you will agree with me that this is a great upgrade to the tail section of this bike. We actually released a video early on in the development stage of this geometry, and most people were split on their opinion whether or not this will come out looking good. So I'd like to hear from you. Let us know if you like it, if you don't like it. If you say you don't like it, please let us know what you don't like about it. I'm interested in all your opinions. If you like what you see here, I'd like to invite you to tstindustries.com. You can access more information and more photos on this product, and also see some other cool products, maybe pick up a shirt. I don't know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.